Hi, everybody. So I just wanted to continue talking about life is easy, life is good. And last week I talked about how our lives can go from being experienced as a hardship to being experienced as a blessing and something that we love and are ecstatic about. And I shared with you how that happened for me. And that happened for me when I recalled that it is not my responsibility to obey rituals in order to gain favor or pleasure. But I can ask my spiritual parent for the ability or the inner trust to be able to cooperate with it. When that happens, I believe we'll experience life unfolding for us more easily and more beneficial to us. And this week I wanted to share with you how we can actually choose what happens in our life. And I know that sounds real mystical and maybe even impossible. However, I believe that we can know the purpose behind any given experience because we not only exist here as humans on earth, but I believe we have this special ability to co-create the life we are destined to live. And a lot of times when we experience negative situations, we ask the question, why me? Or why is this happening? Or we can say, I don't know what this purpose is behind it. And I believe that we can actually know the purpose behind our negative situations. It occurred to me one day while I was asking why me, while I was in the middle of a negative, frustrating situation, that what if the answer to that why was given to us? And I believe that we can ask our spiritual parent for that purpose. So what alleviated me from this haunting question of why was, first of all, realizing that why creates two things in our head. First of all, why is the confusion about the purpose of the negative experience, and it's also the feeling of a lack of choice in the matter. But I actually have come to experience the opposite of those two facts. Sometimes we believe and respond to negative experiences as if we had no other option but to submit to the slavery of its harm for us, and that we have no option to influence how it affects us. But I believe that we can know the purpose of our experiences in each situation and respond properly and influence how it affects us. And I believe that this can happen when we ask our spiritual parent for the trust to be able to know that there's a purpose behind each negative situation, and we also ask for a willingness to respond differently in order to create a more positive experience. And so I just kind of wanted to give you an analogy so that you can actually see how this unfolds. When you think of a seed, it goes into the ground. That seed is actually surrounded by dirt, it's buried, it's dark, and that's not the only purpose of the seed, is just to be in the ground. The purpose of the seed to be in the ground is so that it can actually grow into fruition, to be a blessing, and to actually live what it was designed to do. And I believe our lives are simply a seed. And whenever we are in a situation where we find ourselves in the quote-unquote dirt, where we're surrounded by darkness, it's tight, we're buried, and it's muddy, and it's messy, I believe that we can actually know that we're just in a position to grow. We're in a position to actually fulfill our destiny. And when we're also in that seed form, we can still experience the joy of knowing that one day we'll be a fruit. Or if we're a caterpillar, we can experience the joy of knowing that we'll one day be a butterfly. And so for each and every negative experience we experience, I believe that the only purpose behind it is to actually benefit us. When we believe that negative experiences are only meant to harm us, or only meant to bring us into frustration or depression, we'll continue to have that experience. But for every negative experience that we encounter, if we believe the purpose behind it is to benefit us, or to bless us, or to cause us to grow, we'll begin to see things unfold more easily for us. So two things is we can know that there's a purpose behind every negative experience, and we can also ask for the ability to respond to those negative experiences differently. Sometimes we feel compelled to respond to each negative experience with complaint and frustration and with anger. But if we ask our spiritual parent for the ability for willingness to be able to respond to it differently, to respond with thankfulness, to respond with awareness, to respond with actually giving to others, and not being in a place of complaint or frustration or depression, we'll begin to have that experience. And so that's how we can begin to choose what happens in our life. Not so much whether negative experience happens to us, but when negative experiences happen, how we have the ability to respond in a positive manner to influence the outcome. That's all for now. Next week, I'll continue to talk about this idea of how we can choose what happens in our life. Thanks for watching. And next Thursday, I'll post another video continuing this thought. Peace.